I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Come on, I gotta turn your light on, John.
Whoever sits there, that's their job.
Yeah, Kelly used to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Make a note of that.
First order of business is bid result 2009-05 large diameter hose. Madam Clerk.
There was two bids that were received for the large diameter hose. The first one was from Churchville Equipment in the amount of $11,640. They did have a certified check attached. There was no deviations. They did not have a sample enclosed with their bid, and their delivery was 7 business days. The second one was Tyler Fire Equipment, $13,381. They had a check attached also, no deviation, delivery 3 weeks, and they did have a sample and a video enclosed. And those were the two bids that we did receive. And according to the fire chief, he's recommending that they go with Tyler Fire Equipment. If you have any questions, he's here.
To go with our recommendation, then I guess, I'll make a recommendation to accept the bid for Tyler Fire Equipment, $13,381.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Burts. Is there any discussion? Well, just for letting everybody know, there's no money coming out of tax dollars. This is a federal grant. Okay.
Excellent.
All right, there being no discussion, all those in favor vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. All right, I'll open the meeting for comments from the public this time. Anybody wishing to address the board may do so.
Not at this time.
Okay. Close this section, I have a chance at the end of the meeting. Minutes of the previous meetings, regular meeting of April 20th, special meeting of the 22nd, and special meeting of the 30th. So board, you all got copies of the minutes. Is there any additions or deletions?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the 3 previous meetings, April 20th, April 22nd, April 30th.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Cooper. Is there any discussion, board? There being no discussion, all those in favor vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Okay. Okay, bills. You all have copies of the bills. Is there any addition or deletions?
No, where is it?
Thank you, sir.
Make a motion to pay the bills tonight.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Burts. Is there any discussion? I'm looking at the... Oh. Only a couple big ones. Okay. There being no discussion, all those in favor vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Correspondence.
I have only one letter. The American Legion Auxiliary of Rouses Point would like the village of Rouses Point to grant us permission to sell poppies. These poppies will be sold at different locations throughout the village. The employees at Wyeth are one of our large contributors. Therefore, your permission would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your cooperation concerning this matter. Ann Ketty, Secretary of the Rouses Point American Legion Auxiliary.
Make a motion to allow the American Legion Auxiliary to sell poppies this year.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Baker. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Carol. Reports of the mayor and trustees. Okay, the spring cleanup of the village of Rouses Point will commence on May 4th and continue through May 7th. Residents are requested to bag as much material as possible and place it curbside by 7:30 a.m. in such a position so parked cars and so forth do not block the pickup. This would be greatly facilitate the collection. Residents are reminded this collection is for pickup of bag clippings and leaves. Okay, next thing on my agenda is request permission to sign the agreement with the village attorney.
Second that.
You can make a motion.
Oh, you didn't put that in form of a motion?
No.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Baker. Is there any discussion, board? It's the same as last year. There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right, I need permission to sign the agreement for the town of Champlain for services of the code enforcement officer, Michael Tetro.
I'll make a motion to allow the mayor to sign the agreement between the town and the village for the services of Michael Pedro, the code enforcement officer and zoning officer for both town and village. Second.
Moved by trustee Burt, seconded by trustee Cooper. Is any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. I need a request for approval of a contract with DOT for the ARRA funding for the D&H project.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Burts. Is there any discussion? This is the $832,000. And for public information, there's no match. It's a straight out gift.
Keep the wheels of that.
We need a roll call vote on that. Mayor.
Okay. Yeah, I knew. You're right. No other discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Burts.
Aye.
Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Cooper.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Authorize request for expression of interest from the DOT listed the firms for the D&H project engineering and architectural service. And what that is, board, is according to this grant application, we have to go out for looking for engineering firms. It doesn't necessarily mean that we can't retain the one that we have, but we have to put that out. So that's what it is.
Very good.
You need a motion for that, Carl?
Yes.
Make a motion to authorize the
Clerk.
clerk to publish listings for the D&H project engineering and architectural services. Put out the-
Second it.
Okay, moved by trustee Burts, seconded by trustee Baker. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Request approval to sign contract with Melissa McManus for grant application and project manager service for the D&H project.
I'll put that in form of a motion tonight in reverse.
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Cooper. Is there any discussion?
I just want to say Melissa does a really good job for the village, and village looks really good, and we appreciate everything that she's done so far for the village.
Did an excellent job preparing this grant to begin with, to be presented to the Department of Transportation, and also went to Washington on our behalf. So I think because of that, is one of the reasons why we got the money, because everything was already
Absolutely.
presented. So we're very fortunate to have had a person like Melissa McManus, who had spent a lot of time helping the village proceed in this new look.
Any other discussion? There not, no other discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Discussion on amendment with master management agreement with JNS. And this is strictly discussion. I don't want to take any action tonight because there are some issues that have not been answered yet. Right. Horizon is the way I look at it, as a large conglomerate company trying to push their weight around. And they were giving J&S a hard time and did not want to pay us the full amount of money. So now they're looking at going back on the water tower again. And there's been several discussions with Landmark, our village engineer, and the water plant. And until I get answers that I have asked, this thing's gonna sit here. And I don't wanna have the people feel that I'm not in favor of it. I'm very much in favor of it, but if Horizon comes in, goes on that water tower and welds on the top, and it spoils the coating on the inside, all right, what do? That's why I'm working directly with Landmark. We have a 10-year or whatever it is guarantee on that tank, and I don't, we can't afford to lose that.
No.
Well, I thought the tower was gonna replace
That, Verizon doesn't wanna go on the tower.
Oh, it's J&S.
They don't have a choice, we're not gonna let them go on a tank.
Well, we can if Landmark will sign off on it, that's the whole secret.
Then what?
So we'll just wait, we'll just wait. Just wait.
Let's, not making.
Anybody else got any other discussion on it?
Yeah, let's study it.
Okay, let's stay.
George, did they come back up? I thought they were gonna come back up and take another look at that whole affair.
They're supposed to,
I suppose, but they haven't shown up.
they haven't shown up yet.
Who's
So
that?
I'm interested, right?
Verizon or J&S?
Both, they're coming together.
It seems like now that Verizon don't wanna be in there, J&S is trying to bail too. It sounds
No,
like.
they're not trying to bail.
No.
No, they're not trying to bail, they're trying, Horizon will go on the water tank, and they'll give us $1,200 a month. Right, they'll go on the water tank. But they have gone on other water tanks, and they said they haven't had any problems, so I thought about this, so I was in Syracuse last week. And you know where Leroy is? Is it Leroy, New York, it's on the way to Syracuse. There's a tank like ours, only it's not as big, smaller tank there. By God, the antennas are on the tank.
In Plattsburgh, they got
Yeah, there's some different tanks,
Yeah.
different type tank.
Well, still, I
No,
thought
let's
they-
not make a move until we're damn sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and
heard that
that's
tank.
what I told this young lady from
We can't
J&S.
afford no.
Until we hear that, Landmark signs off on this so that we are free and clear, I mean, that we keep our warranty regardless of what happens. Right, then it'll stay there. I know there's a lot of people asking and want that cell tower. They want
Yeah.
the coverage, and I understand that. I fully understand
But
that.
if we had the power, then we could in the future rent the space to other telecommunications.
Yes,
If we go in
John.
the water tank.
But they can go in the water tank also. You can put more than one up there.
Yeah, with
But hey, you have what they have sent, take a look at it, study it. Yeah, we'll look at it, and that's, okay. Discussion proposal with Bartlett Judas, P.C. for the architect and engineering services for the fire station. When the stimulus grant came out, from all this stimulus money, and Bartlett Judas was working on this project with the D&H, I said, about 10 years ago, you guys did a preliminary study on the fire station and came up with some preliminary plans. And I said, seeing that this stimulus money is out there, I said, why don't you go ahead and put in for it? Well, lo and behold, they did, and lo and behold, they're on the list.
Right.
So, the one thing we have to do is have the blueprints ready if it happens. So, if we play our cards right with this, and they are pretty well along with it anyway because of what they've done in the past, we might get the stimulus money to pay their fee. It's $18,800. But I need approval to sign that contract. I think you should have a copy of it.
Are there any changes that the chief or the fire department would like to have before we get into an agreement that 10 years ago maybe wouldn't be up to date? Maybe want to You looked at the plans recently?
10 years ago, they had two different options, and we sat down and we picked the one that looked better. It's still, the feasibility is still what we need. We need some extra bay space, which was, the plan has, and we need extra meeting room space, office space, which is in there. A little bit of layout changes would probably be the only issue, but that's minor stuff.
They will meet with the fire station committee
Good.
before anything and draft the final plans
So you need a motion to allow
to sign the contract.
the mayor to sign a contract so we can get this going and make a motion.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Burts, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Last thing on my agenda is discussion on Veterans Park design. I didn't attend the last meeting, so I don't know what went on there. I don't know, do we have anything on that, Carol?
I gave, there should be a packet in there.
They made a recommendation.
They had placed the vote.
Yeah, okay, now I see, yeah. Bottom line is, it's up to the village board. You can take the recommendation or do it, you know. I have some misgivings what went on, some very serious misgivings. The Legion sent out a survey, and I didn't have any problem with that, except they never contacted us and asked for a copy of what we were proposing. I got a copy of that survey, and there was 5 or 6 questions, and that was it. And
Yes, but George, you're the one that asked him to send out the.
no, I did not. I had nothing to do with that in that meeting. I kept my mouth shut.
When we were at the Legion meeting, you said, right, and then he said, the guy said they would canvass the members and get back to you.
They're committed, right? But I mean, when they were getting ready, they could have said, hey, give us, we would have given them the copies of it. I talked to one Legion member, Mumford, did you get a survey? No. And I just said, do you know what's going on? And this one guy said, no. He said, just what we got. And I said, okay, that's all I need to know.
Well, the only decision you asked the Legion to make was whether or not to keep things as per se as they were. And
Yeah.
that's what was on the questionnaire. They sent one, everybody should have got one, they sent one to every member on our mailing list.
I missed it.
I don't know, but they got 216 members, they sent out 216, I checked the mailing, they sent out 216.
I missed it, everything.
Yeah. I got it.
Well, anyway, whatever the board decides, that's what will happen. And there's a copy of the survey in here.
Yeah, this is what you're talking about, Veterans Park project, tax notes?
Well, I think we have to go with the recommendation, because you ask people to do work, and then you disregard it. I mean, I kinda like to put some faith in, you know. I mean,
I just expressed my opinion, that's all. Whenever this board decides, that's what will take place.
Okay, looks like that, we do have work to do. Did I have something?
This is, what she did, the 10 years she figured out,
Okay,
we see
right.
110 of them back, and this is just a percentage. It's fine to do the vote, we dedicate some more well, veterans, that's one of the things, whatever she asked, is what we sent, they sent it out as. And, we're talking about buying the flags for down there and things like that to help out the project. But, and she went through the whole thing, we had a meeting the other day, her and I had bumped and Jeff come up, and we went all through the whole thing, so.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to act with what we recommended.
What was the recommendation?
Well, they recommended to leave, change the name of the park there, and they recommended to, leave the thing there, and they also put in a deal, if there was money available, to bring that gun away from the front of the building here where we have the sports for the children,
Right.
and put it in the back. And that's basically what actually went on. The basic plan that she submitted that night with the people who were gonna put the pass down through and everything like that, that was all went through.
Okay.
They were in favor of the plan?
Yeah, when I put in the thing, so it was just,
Yeah.
they weren't the plan was okay, it's just that they just pulled the members to find out about getting rid of the equipment. And the recommendation was made, and Melissa, we got into it with her, if there's some money available, we'd like to move that naval gun from out front and put the two items together and enclose them back there and just use it for ceremonies and things. And leave the rest of the park open to the public.
Why don't you make a recommendation, or make a, what do you call it, motion? Since you're on the committee.
Who, me?
No, trustee Cooper,
I wasn't on the committee,
you weren't?
no.
What about that meeting you attended?
I was working for the village at the time.
Oh, you were, well, you had your village on it. All right, well, then I'll make a motion to go with the advisory committee. Just, they want to, should the park remain a Vietnam Veterans Park or should it be changed? They said, let's rededicate as a memorial to all our veterans. Should the tank be retained and the dominant element in the park, or should it be moved? They said, vote to keep the tank. And then the PAC discussed additional design issues to be resolved. And investigate the possibility of moving the ship's gun from the front of the Civic Center to the Veterans Park. Well, I guess if we can get the money, we'll have to look into the financing. And we're gonna get plaques for each conflict and the dates in the park design. It includes plaques and flags for each branch of the service and park design. And it says the village board decision to provide it to a land so that the design in the park may be advanced to meet the project schedule. And so I'll put that in form of a motion.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Cooper. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, basically, the way I understand it, everything's gonna remain the same on the E-lane design, except the tank isn't gonna be moved away. Everything else is gonna be the same, it's gonna be rededicated to all veterans.
Put the parking in down there, and just like.
Yeah, everything's gonna be there, and the
Everything's gonna
tank
be
will be
there, yeah.
moved instead of the tank being removed.
I think the parking down that other end is really important, because the people are hanging around down there now, because you got the walkway and everything.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need parking.
I have parking down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer.
Picnic tables, yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. And that's it for me, trustee Brian Jefferson.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Rivers. Late on the agenda tonight.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
First and only item on my agenda tonight is request permission for Brian Gelano and Eugene Leclerc to attend a one-day New York RWA seminar in beautiful Saratoga Springs, New York.
Yes.
Pump calibrations. I need a second.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Bunker. Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Baker. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
That's all I have tonight, Mayor Rivers.
Thank you, trustee Jefferson. Trustee Burks.
I do have something. Designated downtown parking spaces. That'll be the first item on the agenda, and what I mean by that is when this, on Lake Street, might it be possible, our public works supervisor is not here, but after if the state is gonna repaint the lines, the double solid lines, the yellows, and then the white, designating the shoulder road, which allows us for parking spaces on Lake Street, can we do perpendicular lines that would give us, that would designate car parking, so, you know, that
Used to have it.
people, yeah, people don't, you know, take half a spot and then somebody can't park the next car, so it gives an opportunity for the businesses, to, you know, to get more people parked in front of their businesses and not, so people won't take up so much spots, you know.
That was done years ago here.
Yeah. Can we have the equipment to
No.
do that?
We'd have to buy the equipment.
Can we buy it? rent
Either
it?
that or rent it, or
Didn't we discuss this and say the county was?
The county could paint
Yeah, I thought the county could do
they can't paint the side stripes,
it. But again,
but they paint the.
Centers would, follow the roadway, in other words, paint the.
Yeah, they have,
horizontal.
they got a brand new machine that they.
Yeah, and also maybe we should think about some designated parking spaces on Montgomery Street, especially since we've got the new sidewalks to go on, you know, like in front of, from Lake Street all the way down to the curve. You know, designating parking spots.
Probably only on one side.
Yeah, right, well, whatever, and then also for the, for the disabled, or the handicap
Well,
parking,
we were supposed to mark that anyway.
yeah.
That was part of the deal, but we didn't do it last year. And we had to do that in blue paint.
We could probably just rent one of those things.
Well, I have another project in the back of my mind.
We got one at Wyeth, I know that.
Well, it's a possibility we can borrow that.
Yeah, so I mean, just
The
bring it up
striper.
now so that, you know, Memorial Day's coming up, we're gonna have the new park on there, we wanna make sure that people have access to those areas. As many people as we can, you know, for the vehicle, especially the handicap parking, I mean, people, we need to have a couple of those close to the gazebo, the new
Well,
gazebo.
that area that,
Right, but I mean, to,
That's
you know,
supposed to be
keep everybody's
handicapped.
parking there.
I know.
Okay.
Because we didn't mark it.
Just to bring it up,
Yeah.
so we
I
can
think
maybe get that.
that can be done, John.
Okay.
What's gonna happen with the signs during the, like the 4th of July and all that?
What signs?
Like the sign out here for the crosswalk.
You can pull a pin, take them out if you want, but that will stay.
Yep.
We put stuff there during the 4th of
they usually
July.
have something stuck to
Yeah,
go there.
it's
anyway.
good to have those.
Oh, it's a good idea.
By the way,
I
that
just
one out
wondered-
there, got hit over the weekend. And it was hit on purpose.
Right. They're
It
gonna.
wasn't hit.
I'm sure the one on Montgomery Street in front of, the gazebo's gonna get hit
Oh, yeah.
more than once, because it's right on the curb, and
Yep.
people never, but actually, it's good because people are slowing down now.
Well, I gotta tell you something, what I saw the other day, it made me feel good. There was some people in the crosswalk, tractor trailer stopped and let them through.
Good, slowing traffic, yeah, that's what it's for. That's what it's for. Because those guys go through town pretty fast.
Oh my God, some of the trucks go through town, it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know how they go through the, I mean, it seems like.
You know, people just don't think, they just drive, they're doing 35, 40 miles, they just don't realize that.
Imagine tractor
They
trailer.
should be
loads
slowing
too.
down. Well, today, for example, I was driving a school bus, I get to the intersection of Lake Street and Route 11 Champlain Street. I had 3 tractor trailers, now, I got the right of way, 3 of them pulled great, and I had to stop. I had to stop the bus to let them through. They never even stopped. It's like, come on, guys, you know, look at this thing, it's big, it's yellow, it's got a bunch of kids in it. And they're driving right through the intersection.
They're supposed to be professionals.
Telling you.
They are,
Yeah, they are.
yeah. All right.
All right.
That's
And
good,
the other-
John. And I'll have to talk with Brian on it, I think that can be done.
Oh, yeah. The other thing I have is request executive session to discuss a possible litigation.
Second.
Okay, moved by trustee Burke, seconded by trustee Jefferson, roll call vote, trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Burke,
Aye.
trustee Baker,
Aye.
trustee Cooper,
Aye.
and I vote aye. And that's
That's
it,
all I have.
thank you, sir.
Sorry that I missed the fireman's banquet, thanks for the invitation, but I'm certainly gonna be there next time.
Okay, trustee Baker.
All right, first thing is request executive session to discuss civic center personnel.
Second.
Moved by trustee Baker, seconded by trustee Jefferson, roll call vote, trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Burke,
Aye.
trustee Baker,
Aye.
trustee Cooper,
Aye.
and the mayor votes aye.
And the second thing is to discuss the civic center roof.
Do that in regular or executive session?
No,
Yeah, I'll make a request for executive session.
you don't have to do this in executive session.
You know?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What the board gonna do?
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
that's-
Simple as that.
Yeah,
Let's do what we have to, we gotta get it fixed.
Well,
yeah.
We got a choice.
I had a phone call today from Dave Trudeau that works for IEP. What?
I think he closed the curtain, I couldn't see anybody.
He's he's looking at a couple other contractors to do the same thing, and I called him back today, told him, I said, Dave, we don't have a lot of time here. This, it has to be done, and it's gotta be, at least the old stuff taken out before the feet of dance.
Absolutely.
And, Thursday, when I was out at the municipal electric meeting, Bill Berry was there, and we had a very nice discussion. They will go up to $70,000.
Good.
They said, I can't go anymore, I can't justify it because it's not energy efficiency, taking the old stuff down.
Right,
Yep.
well, we gotta get it done.
Yep, they've been kind to us too over the years.
Yes. So, what is the board's pleasure? What I would like to see done, and it's only my suggestion that we authorize the treasurer to go out the bond for $100,000, up to $100,000, or just, no, authorize him to go out the bond. Now, we know we got one bid for $171,000 for the complete job, right? But I'm gonna give Trudeau 1 week. And then whatever, we do not need to go out to bid for this. I mean, because it's an emergency situation. It has to be out of there, hell or high water, it's gotta come out of there.
When you say 170 for them to do the whole thing, what do you exactly do you mean by that? You mean removal?
Removal, putting 1.5 inches of spray foam in, and 1 inch of fire retardant, that's the whole package.
And they'll check the roof to make sure that it's
Yeah.
worthy to do
Oh, yeah,
it.
yeah, they're supposed to do that, they're supposed to treat the roof,
Yeah.
in between. I think you have the proposal.
Yeah, they treat the roof after they get it cleaned,
Okay.
treat it, and then they're gonna spray that stuff.
It's a good
I
thing.
want to be fair to Trudeau, the engineer, because he is looking out for our interests, trying to get it cheaper. I told him by the end of the week, he said it may be Monday or Tuesday before I get it, but I said, I'm telling you, Dave, if you don't have anything by Monday or Tuesday, we're going with this guy, that's it.
Okay.
We have to. So,
I agree.
that's what I would like to do, and
So
I'll
you want a motion in that, George?
a motion for the treasurer to start proceedings to go out for bond.
Okay.
But that's the only way we can do it, we can't, I went to Senator Little
Yep.
Yeah.
and looked for a memorandum. She absolutely has no money whatsoever. The Democrats that are in control did not fund any of the Republican senators. She said, I'm even having a hard time getting money for what I had last year that was promised. She said, I finally got through to the governor that these people have already spent money and they need to be reimbursed. But she told me point blank, she said, George, I don't have a cent.
Well, at least you asked, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put that in form of a motion. We'll go out for a bond. Want a figure on it, George? What?
No, because it may be less than 100,000.
Okay.
That's why I don't want to figure on it. But Arsen can get ready to do it. When we get the word, he'll be ready to go.
Okay, so I'll put that in form of a motion, allow the treasurer to go out for, prepare the paperwork to go out for a bond. We get the inside of the rec center taken care of. Put that in form of a motion tonight.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Baker. Is there any other discussion?
Who seconded that?
Pardon?
Trustee Baker.
Baker. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say. There being no other discussion, I think we have a roll call vote on that, right, Arsen? Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
Aye.
Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Cooper.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Anything else, trustee Baker?
No, that's it for me.
Trustee Cooper? Thank you, trustee Baker.
Well, I'd like to thank the crews for helping out with Veterans Park down there. When we pushed the wires in, or ran to put the underground down on Montgomery Street, we failed to hook in down there, and we had some complaints from the veterans organizations, and I got with the crews, and the first rainy day they had, they went down there and fixed it right up for us. So I guess that's something underneath the problem.
Is that it?
That's it.
You're great. Thank you, trustee Cooper. All righty. I open the meeting to the public this time.
Mayor,
Yes, Bob?
Robert O'Neill, 53 Washington Avenue. I'd like to, first of all, like to thank the board for voting for the Veterans Park changes. And we had a great discussion with from the American Legion Committee and the Liaison Committee. The last meeting we attended was an excellent meeting. No arguments, no holler or nothing. It was a great discussion, and they voted on all the amendments, even including the tank. Of course, as everybody knows, I was in favor of keeping the tank there, but we went out and did the survey, and every member was sent a survey. I just want to make that a point. So I want to thank you again. My second agenda item is the water plant. I was here in January of 2008 and had a great discussion on the water plant. And so far, there's nothing been done for a year and a half.
Not true, Mr. O'Neill.
Well, I'm still getting the letters.
No, you're not. The last 2 months,
I just got a letter.
well, that's gotta be for something back, but the last 2 months I checked with Mr., the chief water plant operator, Friday. The last 2 months, all the tests are way below the state average. Now, since we moved all the equipment up to the tank. We've done that, I don't know, when was that, John? March.
Well, I hate to dispute you on this, but I got this one a week and a half ago.
Yeah, but when did it say what date? What date was it
Well,
for?
it looks like the same letter was for 3 years.
Yep, it's the same letter.
Same letter.
Yeah.
So I am right on this.
No, but I'm just telling you, for the last 2 months, it's been perfect.
Okay.
The last 2 months.
Now, a week ago last Friday, this was taken care of. I just want you to know what happened. My wife decided to wash her dishes at 6 o'clock in the morning, which it conserves electricity because I always told her to use it either after 9 o'clock or before 8 o'clock. So she started at 6 o'clock in the morning. When the dishwasher was done, we opened up the door and nothing but a fish smell. Absolutely horrible smell. My wife hollered at me, and I says, you call the water plant. Call the water plant, and they said, call the mayor. So my wife called the mayor. The mayor said he would take care of it. He went out there and he assured her to add more charcoal. And I thank him for doing that. So then I proceeded to go down to the water plant, and I'm not gonna mention any names. I went and I asked the person, how often do you back flush the water system and clean the filters? He says, I don't know how to do it. He says the supervisor, we'll call him supervisor, is out on a 2 weeks sick leave because his arm hurt. So I said, well, who's authorized to clean the filters? And he says, I don't know. And I said to myself, when I was on the board, the plant operator had a plan of attack for the springtime and also August or September. We get the high winds, and he had a plan of attack. We have the same problem year after year. I don't care what conditions, it's the same conditions. I think, personally, that this system should be automated. Spend the funds to go to have it automation. Second is to hire, because Mr. Mayor will be appointing a new engineer for the new season. I think you should have an engineer replaced and get a different person, especially something like the first engineer in Plattsburgh. They have the same system, practically the same system we have. Because apparently his ideas is not very good. Now, this is just my opinion now, okay? I'm very, very concerned about this. But I think you should hire a new engineer. There's plenty of them out there, especially a lot of them not even got work. And every employee in that water plant learn how to back flush the system and clean the filters. End of discussion.
Well, you probably hit a brand new man that's just started. We have a brand new man that just started.
He said there's only one person that knows how to clean the filters.
I don't think that's true, but.
Well, I'm just saying,
Just telling you.
they don't all know how to do it.
I didn't say that, I just
Okay.
said I don't.
My recommendation, everyone, you have
Well, if you got a
sickness,
brand new man, Bob, it takes time.
I know, but I say, what about the rest of the employees?
Okay. I don't know who you talk to, or.
I'm not gonna mention any
And
names.
that's what you said, it doesn't
I
matter.
am not-
But I
nobody's
do
known.
know that we have a brand new man, he's on right now,
Uh-huh.
he does know how to do the test, he may not know how to back flush.
Okay. Well, what about your engineer?
What's wrong with our engineer?
I don't think he's doing his job,
Why?
because the system is the same problem.
Don, we moved everything up to the water tank, we put the chlorine at the water tank thing instead of down here, and it's cured that problem. Now, you know for years, the health department has been on our tail because we did not have enough contact time.
And now you got too much contact time.
Yes? Why?
You spend $150,000.
Why? I'm asking you why.
I'm not an
Why
engineer.
if, what
What did your engineer tell you?
Well, because Wyeth quit using the amount of water they use. And the health department approved, and we put up a 1.5 million gallon tank because we were pumping 600,000 gallons a day and using 500,000 gallon water tank and pumping 1.2 million. So we put the new water tank up under their recommendations, the state of New York, health department. Put the new tank. Now, all of a sudden it turned around. That's why you're getting that chlorine thing, right? Which if you
No,
drain,
the fish smell.
well, the fish smell, that's different. That's adding charcoal. That's a whole different thing. But the reason why you're getting those letters is because the state of New York Health Department has done this. Here's what the parameters. This is what they're doing.
No, I think you should have a new engineer.
Had the same problem in Port Henry though, did you see it in the paper?
Fort Henry, look at Peru. Got the same damn problem we got.
We got different systems, but
Different system. Did
Who?
anybody go down to Plattsburgh and check with them?
Plattsburgh has what they call reservoirs. We don't have reservoirs.
well, we have problems. I've been talking to the engineer our engineer, the water plant operator that's there, Mike Riley. I've been talking to him for the last couple of weeks. I've been talking, and I went down to the health department, and we're bypassing the serpentine piping at this time.
That was a lot of money to put in.
Still gotta have it.
Well, regardless of the money that we spent, if we're talking about a new system, it's gonna cost us over $1 million. Now, we do have, and I've said this many times at regular board meetings, and we have a shared services committee. Shared services with the town of Champlain and the village of Champlain. And we just hired Barton and Judas, the best engineers in the state, to look at water. And they're gonna come and look at our plant. So, the engineer, I agree with you, the engineer's 4.5 years that he's been playing around with the system, and we don't have a solution yet. Maybe these guys that are gonna help, maybe can help our engineer to study the problem. Now, we're not the only ones in the state that have a similar problem. And we have an antiquated system. Our system's been here, for what, since 1960?
68.
So, it's an old system. We're doing the best that we can. We get a little bit of smell in the water. That's when they use the charcoal. You called up, they don't use it every day because in order, and the way I understand it, with the diatomaceous earth, we have the filters. They clean those filters, Bob. Every fourth day, they backflush it. If you put the charcoal in the filters, you have to do it every day. If you do it every day, it's 3 and 4 hours. We don't have the capacity to do that. Our guys would be forever backflushing and then be working. We'd have to have double the amount of guys to keep that plant running.
Not only that, double the amount of earth, diatomaceous earth.
Right, so, I mean, yeah, you get a smell, it's not gonna hurt you. You know, the contact time now, and this is the funny part about this, and I'm learning more about it as I talk to these guys, and if you spend a lot of time there, you listen to Mike Riley, or you listen, and the guy that you probably talked to is a new employee. He's been there for like 3 weeks, he's working midnights, he doesn't know how to backflush systems, and they haven't had a chance to train him. Gary Malinsky is hurt, he got hurt last Halloween. He had to go in for an operation. He's gonna be out for maybe, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 2 weeks. But anyways, he's hurt. We do testing and we have to send it to Clinton County on a quarterly basis. They tell us when to test. Now, when they test, those tests can vary. And that's where we're taking an average. And unfortunately for us, if we could probably test 2 or 3 or 4 weeks in a row and get a good reading. But on the week that they want us to test, the readings may be high. And we get jammed up for that because that one day that we do the test, our readings may be off. They may be too high for what the state wants. But we could possibly take tests once a week. Now, those tests cost us $200 every time we do that. Now, that's a lot of money. Now, if you know, I thought maybe we should spend the money, but it still doesn't answer the problem because right now, in the last time that, Mike Riley was telling me this today, the last time that we tested, and I looked at the sheet, all our parameters are well below what the state average is right now.
That's too much.
I can tell you, it's been that way for a couple months now. So, we're hoping that the next time, and now this is an average, so we're gonna do it again in June for the county, and then we do it again in September. Now, some of those times, you know, there might be a lot of turbidity, there might be a lot of different reasons why. You know, maybe hopefully in the summertime, we got dead ends. We take these readings on dead ends. Now, what I'd like to see the village propose is to do away with any dead ends that we have. We do away with dead ends. We don't have any more of these readings because there's not gonna be any contact time. We're taking readings, now that, we take them throughout the village, but the ones that screw us up are at the dead ends, Lily Avenue. Your water's 100% okay, we get to the test site, over here, the water's been stagnant in there for a week and a half. The contact time's gonna be longer. So that's why you know, you look at the system and you look at it and you say, well, how can we avoid this? They got one at Lincoln, on Lincoln Boulevard. Maybe we can do away with those dead ends. If we can loop Lily somehow to get it back over to the water plant or the wastewater plant, we've done away with one of the requirements. You know,
You have to loop the 276 too.
we'd have to loop them.
Okay, I'm just saying.
We can
We
do
got about five, we
There's
got about
another one.
5.
If we can do away with those loops, we're gonna do away with our water problem.
Yeah.
So the stuff, I guess what we're trying to tell you is that stuff, even though you get a letter, I've been drinking that water since I've been a resident. Now, I don't think, maybe it's affected me, I don't know mentally, I don't,
Take a look at you.
other residents will have to tell me if I'm going off the deep end here, but I don't think my personality's changed a lot in the last 30 or 40 years. You know, so it's safe, it really is safe, it's just that we are mandated to let you know that we are not meeting the state quotas right now. But it doesn't mean every single, it's just these, and people gotta understand, it's a dead end where the water stops and there's no flow. At that point, we have to take the worst case scenario. That's what we do. We take the worst case scenario and that's dead water. And that water has been contacted, chlorine's in there too long. That's what that means.
Well, you're missing a couple of points that I wanted And I,
Well, I just want you to understand
Oh,
what we're doing.
I-
And the guys, you know, you gotta remember, you said, you talked to one guy, he's a brand new employee. He doesn't know, but he's not by himself. When we flush the system, he's not gonna be there by himself. He's gonna have, Mike Riley's gonna show him how to do it. Gary Malinsky's gonna be there. I'm sure Eugene Leclerc is gonna be there one time, they're gonna flush them together. That's it. I mean, if you've never seen the operation go on, you probably have, because you served as mayor, so you would know how that goes.
Well,
You sit-
it certainly has changed.
You know, I mean, it takes a while to do that stuff, you know, so bear with us, but
Well,
we're definitely trying.
what we used to have is we changed, clean the filters, backflow, and clean the filters between 8 and 11 o'clock at night. We would then, before we did that, we would notify the largest employer in town, and they would, change their procedure on using the water for that time, because usually it takes about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, something like that. And they curtail their water usage, and we could clean it, and there was nobody affected by it. And that's what we did. But everybody in the water plant knew how to do this. Now you have your water plant operator on day shift. What you guys should do is black shift, flush and clean the filters at night, the second shift. That's what I'm trying to
I don't
ask
know
you.
when they do it, Bob, I don't know.
I didn't
Well, I
understand.
think the board should find out these things.
Well, but you know what? We haven't had any problems, so why should we find out? Gary's been doing a good job.
I didn't say he
We'll
did.
look into that.
You mentioned names, I don't wanna mention
But-
names.
I'm just telling you, Gary's the chief water plant operator.
The other thing,
And this thing with the testing, it's cost us an extra $13,000 this year to do testing.
I no doubt about that, I know. But what about the automation?
How much do you want the water to go up, the price of water?
Well, you've raised it high enough now, I pay almost $60 a month in water, so.
And we also got over $2 million debt.
Oh, you're not gonna give me for $60?
It's $50,
Okay,
54 cents.
okay.
Done like that.
Oh, gee, you're the treasurer.
Hasn't changed in 3 years.
Throw numbers
Hasn't
out
changed
there,
in
you
3
got-
years, it's a total of
Well,
$50
you're
for water
in
and
the back
sewer.
room over there.
Well, I still recommend that you get a new engineer,
Well,
and that's the end of it, I'm all done.
thank you.
All right, anybody else? If not, I'll close this okay, I'm sorry, I didn't go down through Carol. All right, then?
I just want to report that I went to the county last week, the treasurer's office, and we sat down with a couple other villages to look at the new tax program, and then we're gonna have training on that on May 15th, whether it's gonna be here or the village of Champlain, I'm not really sure, just let the board know. And we also, last week, we had a gentleman called Rick Palumbo from, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, from Utility Software Applications, USA for short. He is gonna be, we are gonna be purchasing a new continuing property records program from him, which will bring us from a DOS-based program into the Windows environment. And that-
Bring us up to speed, finally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just wanted to board with all that, so that's also in the budget also, so.
Thank you. Mike? Take a motion for recess.
Motion for.
Second.
Who seconded
All in
that?
favor?
Aye.
Jefferson.
Chief. Oh, Jack.
Oh, Bob.
Yep, thank you.
Shut that off.